Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another brand spanking new episode of the Bacchanal Podcast, the fusion of hip-hop, video games, comics, movies, nerd culture, all rolled up into one spectacular show. Join me, KC and Akil, each week as we discuss nerd culture while adding our Trinidadian spin on it. This is Blerd news like you never heard before. Let's get it, man.
You stumbled, but you received.
Yeah, doing it again and again. Got this is the second time. First one was great, but the sound fucked up. So we here though. We're doing a movie review today, and we watched a hell of a movie, man. We gotta talk about this Becky.
Becky wild, boy. She wild. Casey, what you wearing? Is that a Cuban link and a Hawaiian shirt?
I don't know what this is called. I don't remember the name of the chains.
Aren't those called Cuban links?
Nah. I want the Cuban, but let me get that later on.
Out here, got that Dominican swag. You got some white pants on?
Hey. Mamacita, hey.
I got my Purple Rain shirt on.
Okay, nice.
Repping
I got a little
Prince.
tired of rocking just t-shirts all the time, so I was like, let me switch it up, you know? I see Andrew Schultz and all these guys, you know, looking all nice and relaxed. I'm like, okay, we need to step up our look a little bit.
I don't make Andrew Schultz money yet, so I'm gonna rock a Purple Rain shirt. First of all, I'm mad at Toronto because y'all should have beat up that white guy that did the blackface that thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Y'all
I didn't even want to give that guy energy. That was some bullshit, man.
They just squirted water. I was like, nah, put hands on him, man. He'll learn.
He'll get hands on him, but, you know, not right away.
Because
he had 10 cops go surround around him and walked him out of there. He got protection. Like, trust me. People in Toronto don't play. We throw bottles. We throw bottles and bullets. Like, it's not a play type of city, man.
In America, we beat up the fake Green Arrow. He got his ass kicked. We beat up the wheelchair lady with the knife. Yeah. Come on, man. Blackface was asking for it. It reminded me of that movie.
People know who he is.
Remember, what's that movie, Soul Man, where he was in blackface?
Yeah. He was trying to be viral, man. He's trying to make a viral moment. He's got the viral virus. But people saw his face. It's not a big city, man. Everybody,
they're like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah,
the blackface guy.
Yeah, everybody remember him. Don't worry. I wish no harm on anybody, but people didn't forget. We do not forget here. And this is a bottles and bullets city. That's all I gotta say.
B&B.
The cops can escort you out of one small little block, but hey, man, small city. A lot of people in here.
How you holding up, man? You guys have a curfew or what's going on?
Nah, no curfew. People boarded up everything because there was a rumor that there was going to be rioting on the Saturday protests. So all the stores boarded up all their stuff to protect the bullshit. But everything seemed pretty respectful. The different things that were happening here, for the most point. But it's going to get more intense and more intense. But Ottawa, our prime minister, for Americans that don't know, that's like the president. Our prime minister came out and he actually took a knee with the people. And even if it was a show, like some people are saying, or bullshit, at least he took a step forward to say, you know what? I hear you. We don't know if he agrees or not. We don't know if he's putting on a show, but that's at least, you know what I mean? Like Trump,
yeah,
on the other hand,
cowards.
Yeah, Trump is inspecting under his desk. He's inspecting the basement. He's building higher and higher walls.
Yeah, we got a bunker, making sure everything's good in there.
There's a book called The Law of Power, and Law 18 is do not build walls and isolate yourself, because that is the first step to the down route. You know what I mean? That's the first step to madness. And that's the first step, like when Napoleon was cursing out his generals because he had no more power in Africa to be able to come through. When England got the money from the banks, everybody knew it was over for Napoleon when he started yelling at everybody. Usually he kept it calm and cool. It's over. You're watching that real smooth decline of Trump right now.
I think the decline already happened. I think we're
long time.
I think that man's delusional. He's in his own world. Because when George Floyd died, like, his funeral happened. After the funeral, Trump was like, George Floyd's looking down and he's looking at these black unemployment numbers and they're looking beautiful.
Yo, Trump don't know what he's doing. What Trump should be doing is anytime he wants to say something, just say the opposite. Just say the opposite. Because everything he's saying is the wrong thing. He can't say the right thing or make the right move as a president. He is a complete failure. I was honestly thinking a genius move by like Saturday Night Live or one of these comedy skit TV shows that we know he watches is to make a 5 year later planned skit. And do you know when you get a job and like, what's your 5-year plan? Presidents only have 4 years as presidency until they get voted in for another 4 years, right? 5 years after he got voted in, the year after, everybody in the comedy skit's gonna be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now this Trump is gone, you know, like we fixed this and this and this, you know, like really dig into him and be like, oh, the people that were around him weren't really liking him. And he'll be watching that and he'll be like, holy crap, this is how they really feel. You know what I mean? Like
paranoid like that.
Just to dig into them. Yeah, but just to keep like digging into them, because that's what they're doing. That's what CNN's doing. That's what the comedy people are doing. That's what late night television show hosts are doing.
That's what the mayor of Washington's doing. She wrote Black Lives Matter on that road heading towards the White House.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Does not like.
I love it. Yeah, just keep digging. He could build a wall all as high as he wants, but he's gonna turn on the TV and he's gonna see this and he can't.
I just need Joe Biden to shut the hell up, man.
Yeah, man. Joe Biden, man.
Shut up. Put him in the corner. Put him in timeout. Just shut him up. Let him get a black VP.
But I love my mom like loved Joe Biden because of the presidency, vice presidency. That
ain't the same Joe, man.
I know, but she's slowly. She was defending him at first. I'm like, look what your man said. You know, I'm like, what do you got to say about this?
Like, and what I mean by that's not the same Joe. I feel like he's starting to show, like, me personally, it seems like early signs of dementia.
It's clear as day. I'm not no professional. You don't need no professional to be seeing that. And the people around him, they're just holding him up like he's like.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's when they're holding the.
That's it. Yeah, they're just holding him up. The team is just holding him up. They wanted him to be in there. They knocked out Harris. They knocked out everybody else who I felt like could have been actually
Andrew Yang,
a good president. You know, like not amazing, not great, but good. You know, like good enough. But they did their political bullshit and knocked out a lot of qualified people who I feel, in my opinion. And now look what we got. We got them holding this guy up like he's a puppet. Literally.
Yeah, he said one of his speeches.
He's reading some lines good.
He said vote for the other Biden. I said, who that nigga is? Vote for the other Biden. What?
Oh man. You ain't voting for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
Come on, bro.
Shout out to all my niggas. Whoops, I can't say that.
Come on, bro. it's like if I was in America, I'd be signing a thing like.
Yeah, black people, they're going to be like this, just pulling their lever like.
Now,
I guess.
We got an invite to a podcast to talk about all these things that are going on within other cultures and stuff like that. But we declined it. I feel like it's not our place to be telling people from level 1 where they could be doing their own research that are blind to what's going on. How do you feel about that?
I feel like this shit's been happening forever. I listened to a really good interview. They had two local radio stations from competing companies, and they came together. They had a predominantly white station and they had a predominantly black station. Came together and they had that same conversation. And one thing that they said that I like, they said, what is it specifically about George Floyd that made you guys say enough is enough? And they're like, well, it was clear to see and this and that. And they're like, there's been countless other times where it's been clear to see. So what is it about this specific time that you guys are finally doing something? And I believe it's that a lot of people aren't working. They're fed up.
There's no
They're
sports.
Angry. There's no sports.
There's no distractions.
And so there's no distractions that they can finally focus, and they're like, oh, the blinders are off. Oh, racism is real.
Yeah.
Oh, police brutality is real. Even the NFL, they're finally saying, hey, they're like, oh,
NFL can kiss my whole entire ass.
This is real. I'm just like, okay, so what you're really saying, even though you're not wanting to come out and fully say it, is that Colin Kaepernick was right this whole time.
Exactly. And if they acknowledge that, there's a good chance this issue, we wouldn't be here right now. If they acknowledge that and said, you know what, we're going to do what we can to put towards finances, to giving people the knowledge to create reform in your town before it even hits the bigger people, like the presidents or the people under the president. If every state is complaining like, yo, our cops are crazy and we have to change it in our town, in our county, whatever you guys call it, it'll grow from there. You know what I mean? But
here's the crazy thing, Casey.
They're not changing it. It's like,
okay, we're upset with cops for using police brutality. What is their answer to that right now?
More
police brutality.
Yeah, more of that. What, they don't like hot sauce? Pour a little more hot sauce.
They knocked down that old man in Buffalo, busted the man's head, blood everywhere. There's a little kid that got hit with Just like a flash grenade, burnt up the kid's face. Another little girl got sprayed with pepper spray.
Got murdered.
One girl died because of the gas. She had asthma and they gassed her and she couldn't breathe. So you're answering, the bullets. People are getting shot in the head.
Bouncing those off the floor and then ricocheting it to hit the person in their legs.
They're
knocking that shit right in people's face. Like they're having like some of these cops, not all cops, but some of these cops are just, they took it too far, and we got to stand up and fight this shit because we got to change it. We got to evolve what's going on in that.
So I'm just saying, like, this has been going on forever. And there's been commercials and stuff for it. No one really cared. But when Sarah McLachlan shows up with the eyes of the angel and they're holding an animal, you know about the animal abuse and you know about that, but you don't know about Black lives getting killed on the regular. Even though we're only about 12.8% of the population, we're constantly getting killed. We're always in jail.
Yeah,
because we're getting sentenced harsher than everybody. And all this systematic racism and police brutality has been going on for ages. But now there's a magnascope on it because people got the time.
Yeah. And a lot of other cultures don't realize like the whole you look guilty type of thing. Like you driving your university student driving home and they pull you over and they're like, well, you look guilty. It smells like weed in here. And it's like, I just bought Burger King. Like, what are you talking about? You know, it's like, you talking back to me? It's like, no, where are we going with this? You know, and then it just escalates. It's like, you didn't do nothing wrong, but it just, that is a regular thing that happens to Black people.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, people don't understand white privilege. They just think that it's like, oh, I get money and all this stuff just because I'm white. And that's not the case. White privilege is basically, it's the benefit of the doubt that Black people don't get. We're getting judged just on our skin, and we're getting villainized just because of our skin.
Yeah, like the FBI agent who was sitting down at a restaurant. They wanted to. Did you see that? The FBI agent with a red T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was real or not. But...
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. There's a lot of fake stuff in smoke and mirrors still. But yeah, that for example, he was an FBI and they didn't know he was an intelligent person who was like, I know my rights. You can't just arrest me. What are you talking about? You know, and they even tried to mess with him even more.
There's certain things as Black people that we have to do. We have to have that conversation. Every Black man has that conversation with either their mom or their dad about how they interact with the police, what to do in that situation, not to reach for this, not to reach for that. A lot of white people don't have to have that conversation.
Exactly.
A lot of white people don't have to, you know, when you walk in the store, there's somebody constantly following me. Do you need help? Are you buying something? Blah, blah, blah. What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
You could never really feel unsafe in the neighborhood because, like, if you're Black, let's say you're Black, you go to HBCU, it's all love, you're amongst your peers. But if I go to, like, a predominantly white school, I got to move a little different. There's code switching involved. There's a lot of things like that. But on the flip side, like, you bring a white guy to HBCU, it's all love, and he might get some of the baddest chicks too, just because he's that one. He's that one white guy at the HBCU, bro. He's about to be living it up.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Clapping hella cheeks.
Yeah.
So
stick and move.
Stick and move. So it's different. It's just like, you know, have you ever walked into a party and it's like predominantly white and they give you that look like, who let this nigga in here?
Yep. I've been there before, man, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm out of here. You know, like, this ain't it.
And the flip side, you bring a white guy, and they're like, "Who brought Doogie Howser?" You know, they hit you with some jokes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, you might be clapping some cheeks, though. So it's a win.
That's a great night. It's a win. College university times. That's a great night. That's a great night.
Yeah, it's a win. You might get a Doogie Howser joke or whatever here and there, but
yeah.
It's all love at the end of the day. It's not from a malicious standpoint that they're hitting you with that.
Yeah.
It's not like, get out of here, nigger. That's completely different.
Yeah. So we got our Facebook fan page that we got on Facebook. It's called the Bacchanal fan page. And on that page, we had some great conversations like what we're having right now. You could join in on the conversation. And one thing we were talking about, what game so hard that broke our heart or that was so sad and stuff like that. And it just built a great dialogue on the conversation. Is there a game, Akil, that you want to speak on that broke your heart?
Okay, so the two games that made me cry, Red Dead Redemption 1.
Okay.
Pissed me off because I did all this shit for my family. I'm herding the cows and shit. I'm like, John about to, you know, show his son how to be a man. I'm making all this decision, you know. And then the government comes and they shoot me up, bro.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Me up.
Yeah. And
that, from there, I never trust the government. I was like, yo, John Marston did all this shit for his people.
Yeah.
Done turned on did the 6ix9ine. He was the first 6ix9ine, if you think about it. He snitched on his whole entire game.
Yeah, and then they switched on him.
And then they switched up on John Marston, shot him up, man. That shit broke my heart. That and the original Walking Dead season 1, where you play as Lee.
Yeah.
The last episode where you get bit and you gotta talk Clementine into either killing you or just leaving you to die. After I built that relationship, like father-daughter relationship with her from 8 episodes before, and now I gotta leave myself to die. And I tried everything. When I got bit, I said, "Not me, soldier. I'll cut my hand off." I thought that would have,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that in the game. That was intense.
I thought that would have made the situation better, but I started bleeding out and shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Battletoads is the game that pissed me off the most, though.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I was gonna get into ghouls and goblins and stuff like that. All those old Nintendo games used to piss me the hell off. They made them super hard just so that you keep the game for a long time. You keep playing it for a long time. Like Mega Man was respectable. Like at least that was it was hard, but it had a rhythm. So if you understood the rhythm, then you could get through the stages and you knew who to go to next and you figure it out like that. But these games were just impossible for no reason. And there was no reward. Like after you beat everything, it's like, oh, you could do that? More. It's like, well, what am I doing here?
Remember, Casey, back in the day when games, they would have the instruction manual and then the back page will have notes and you'd be writing stuff. I'll be writing stuff like, I'll write shit like, man, fuck this game. Level 2 is a bitch.
I used to do that with renting from Blockbuster. When you get the booklet from when nobody teeth the book from Blockbuster, I'd write it in there. I'd be like, man, you gotta watch out for this stage right here. Like, just take this code. I got this code from this. Remember when you could put the code in?
Oh, yeah.
Jump stages. I'd be like, here, you need this. Take that, man. To help out people I never even met before.
Aladdin and Lion King were two culprits right there that used to piss me off. Because I'm a child. And I'm like, oh, it's a kid Disney movie. They must have made this easy for me to play.
No.
Hell no. Relentless ass
They don't care. They don't care about you.
Disney don't care about the kids, man.
Yeah.
Hard ass game.
One of mine was Control. It's a new game that just came out. It's a cool game. It feels like a AA game. It's beautiful though. The game is beautiful, and I like the way things chip and fall apart and break, and you can pull things and throw it. The mechanics are great, but it just had a part where they made it impossible. Like, do you know in games when they throw more and more at you?
Yep.
This, you're going up a certain thing with satellites, and you got to turn off the satellites. But they keep throwing more and more bad guys at you, and like never before, the bad guy's health goes back up. So if you're shooting them and you miss one shot, their health just regenerates.
No.
I'm like, yo, when did they even say this was going to happen in this game? So I just had to turn it off for 2-3 weeks. Went online after, looked it up. So many people complaining about the same issue. And then they showed an easy way to do it, like a little glitch cheater thing. And I was like, okay, fuck this game. Just did that shit where you just rush to the spot, hold the button down at a certain place. So they'll be shooting at you, but it's not hitting you. Because it's 1-2 spots in that game, in that stage where it's impossible.
I got one last one I want to jump in here.
Yeah, and I'll say my last one. Yeah.
Those fucking Lego games be pissing me off. Them puzzles is supposed to be for kids. Them puzzles be hard as hell. I'll be going on YouTube and I'm like, oh, I forgot to hit that block right there. And then they have these different races that you have to do in the game. And there's always some type of frame rate issue. Like I was racing, I was doing good. And I had 39 out of the 40. And there was a frame rate drop and it stuttered and I missed it and I tried to go back and it made me redo the whole thing all over again.
That's Control. Control makes you do it all the way from the start again.
That's the devil.
So your son's like, Daddy, do this Lego
thing. He's mad at me. He's talking about try harder. I said, boy, I am trying.
Yeah, exactly. Like, son, go to your room, okay?
Damn Lego superheroes too. Piss me off, man.
Yeah, man. So
what's your last one?
I said it already. It already. Yeah, but check out our Facebook page, man. That's the kind of conversation we'd be having on it. All right.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about Becky. I'm not gonna play the trailer.
No.
Because YouTube is they come cold. After us for that.
Cold. Yeah.
So Becky is a teenager's weekend at the lake house with her father, and it turns into I guess a manhunt battle between Nazis. This stars Joel McHale, Amanda Brugel, Ryan McDonnell, and what's his name? Kevin James, King of Queens.
Yeah.
As the title villain in the film. I'll let you go first. I'm gonna gather my thoughts first.
In my opinion, this movie is substance over actual. It's like not. It's not substance. It's like just prettiness, coolness over substance. Like style over substance. Yeah. Because like it starts off and they try to be deep and stuff like that, showing the parallels between chaos in jail and the chaos in school, and the parallels between the two people who would be the good and the nemesis. They show that like they try to say like life can be brutal, life can be disciplined. It shows them in class, and then it shows everybody walking in the jail. It shows life can be organized. Like they're trying to be deep, but it's not deep. You know what I mean? Like it's not there.
This is what this felt like. Like this person was very intellectual. He was writing it, and he got about halfway through, and he hit a block. And he's like, you know what? Let me do a line of coke real quick,
and then
and get back to it. And then once he did that coke, shit got a little wild and dumb.
Yeah, like it had a lot of promising stuff in it where it could have been something really dope. Because the MacGuffin, which was super disappointing, I feel like they had a deeper thing written in this, but they didn't even get to really peel the onions on that. They just were like, nah, this is the story.
Highly disappointed that they didn't use Ply's "Give Me That Becky" at all in the film. I was like, they could fit it somewhere in here.
Yeah. Kevin James, I feel like he did this. It was cool. He did a role in this movie that I wasn't expecting him to do. I feel like he did this movie to increase his portfolio, to show his range as an actor, to try to get into more things than just comedy. And I felt like he was doing his thing, but the only problem was the writing wasn't there fully for him. But at first, he did a great job. He was intimidating. He had great little racist lines that he was pulling off so well that I was kind of like, you know, I'm good at that. But he did a good job to a point, and the writing just fell apart. The other characters, the other bad guys, were kind of like just empty characters.
Empty fillers.
They're like putties from fucking Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like,
so let me dig into the plot a little bit. So
yeah.
You have Becky, and then you have her father, played by Joel McHale, who's one of my favorites. He didn't really get to flex any of his comedy or anything. He's just kind of there.
Joel McHale was basically just being Joel McHale without the witty comebacks.
Yeah, we didn't get none of that. He's just
he just took shit and went and sat down in a chair, and he's like, man, fuck this shit.
It's like, did they give him a script? They're just like, hey, Joel, you have a
Thanks
daughter.
Thanks for being
here. So the premise is her mom passed away. It's been about it's been a year, and the dad's like, yo, I always wanted to get with a fine ass black woman.
Yeah.
Now it's the time.
Yeah, he didn't wait.
So
a year?
He invites his black girlfriend and their son to the cabin with his daughter Becky, and then all hell breaks loose when the Nazis show up. So that's the whole premise of the film right there.
I was watching it and I was like, damn, that cabin's nice, man. People don't just live at that thing, man. This is a person's like cabin. This is what it looks like. This is pretty dope.
It's a dope rental cabin. The title character, Becky, how'd you feel about her?
She felt I didn't like her. And she didn't have anything qualities that made me want to get to know her or like the character at all. So from that point of perspective, I was like, okay, Joel's in this at least. But then Joel was empty too. He was just there, like failing at every turn to be able to bring together the relationship with his new wife-to-be and his daughter, being able to communicate to his daughter. He was dropping the ball at every corner. You know what I mean? So like he wasn't a good character either. So it didn't really have any. The kid was cool. Who's feeding the dog.
I like the black girlfriend Kayla, and then
she was good. She did a good job.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I wanted more from them because like Becky was just so one-dimensional. I felt like they were trying to go for a Home Alone vibe because she was getting crafty when it came to her like taking down the villains, but she wasn't as smart as Kevin McAllister.
I even saying Home Alone hurts this movie because you're going with expectancies of creativity and it doesn't have that level. So when you go in expecting to see something like that and you just see like, oh, I'm just going to do this and do that. She would have got smacked into the next universe if she tried to slide off some shit
real
and
talk.
hit me in my back. She weighs, 70 pounds?
Real
Come
talk.
on.
Her superpowers were luck and white privilege.
And rage.
Not even rage, because there's a lot of times where she'll be in a predicament where she should die, and then another character will be like, I don't want to harm this young little white girl. Let me try to reason with her real quick.
I honestly feel like this movie had a deeper meaning to it, but they just couldn't pull it off. Like, I feel like she was like what do you call those like white people that are blonde, blue eyes? They say like were original, like
Karen?
Hitler. No, like Hitler.
Oh, the Hitler. Okay, I forgot.
It starts with an A or something like that.
The Aryan
race.
Yeah.
I feel like she was like the Aryan race like incarnate, like rage incarnate, and she had that tool, the MacGuffin, the stupid thing, and that like made her like super Aryan race Karen. So that's why when the guys saw her, they were like, "Oh God," you know, like. But they just couldn't pull that shit off because it was.
Let's briefly talk about the MacGuffin. It's a key. They keep mentioning this key, and I felt like the payoff with the quote unquote key wasn't really worth it. And then a lot of times where she's setting up a trap, it's some dumb shit that she just gets lucky. Like in my mind, I'm writing fan fiction like she about to do this, and then this is gonna come up and stab the guy in the head and do this and do that. Nope. She gonna jump over something. She gonna trip and fall. The other guy's an idiot. He's gonna trip and fall too. And then she gonna grab something and stab them with it. It's not like I thought this girl like had like some type of skills where she could make traps. She's just using white rage as her superpower.
Exactly. That's all I saw was white rage. The key was on her. She had the power. The MacGuffin was on her. You know what I mean? So she just had that like, like the things she was doing in the real world. She would have got like choked underwater. The guy would have just grabbed her from putting the nail in his rib, just grabbed her and dunked her underwater. Right in that
long time.
Done. So like she got away with it like ways that I could not believe. I was watching. I was like, this is not.
It got dumb.
The pacing was good. At least the pacing. When I started to feel bored at the beginning when they're doing the introduction, they got to the spot where I was like, okay, good. They're here. They're in the place. Everybody characters known. The table's set. We're rolling. But then when the movie was rolling, I was like, is this all she's doing for real? Like, okay. Like,
once one character died and then the wheels started rolling, that's when the writer did coke and shit got really dumb. Yeah. Eyes were coming out. We're seeing some
that was cartoonic
B-movie gore.
Like
and the character didn't even care after. He's just like, put a Band-Aid on it. Yeah.
But that was funny. That part had me laughing, and I don't even think it was supposed to be having me laughing.
No.
Because the guy was using like kindergarten scissors.
Yeah, he was using safety scissors to cut the eye out.
And the scissors are just sliding. And I'm like, okay, this is more funny than it is terrorizing, you know? So
give me an adult Kevin McAllister fighting villains in real life and using traps like Saw to kill the villains. That would have been more entertaining than this because it seems like they had that premise, but they weren't smart enough to execute it properly with the different stuff she was doing. Because dumb luck and white rage, that was her powers.
Like if Kevin James was her uncle and like this was like they had a reason for him to know that thing was in the house. You know what I mean? Like that would have at least, it's not the deepest of writing, but that would have put things together. Like, how does he know this was in the house? Like they didn't give any signs to that. They just show that he's a cruel person, ruthless leader from the jail scene in the beginning, but nothing to show why he did this research for how many hours he was listing off to the other guy to brainwash him.
And that other guy's a superhero because he just cracked the phone easy as nothing.
I was watching this guy cracking these phones. I'm like, what? What?
That's like those YouTube videos where you see those guys rip a phone book.
Yeah.
He's that type of guy.
He was snapping them like there was a candy bar. Like, I was like, what world is this guy living in?
And I didn't understand that character's motives. I didn't like, there's a scary character and there's times where he could clearly kill the anti-hero, Becky. And it's just like, I'm gonna reason with this girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is your reasoning for that?
None. Had no reason. What was his plan after that? To go back to jail after he just got out? Like
they try to flashback where there's like the scene with the kid. I'm like, did he murder the kids?
Let me talk about the positives that I feel. This movie, that's the couple scenes that happened with the guy that we're talking about and the main Becky character.
Becky
got me more hyped for The Last of Us. Like just seeing that little, like the big ogre guy and the girl. I was like, oh shit, it kind of reminds me this could be like a Last of Us type of thing that's gonna happen.
Nope,
didn't happen, but it got me excited. The positive, it got me excited for the game that's coming out soon. I like the color grading, the color correction that they did in this movie. It looked really nice when it was supposed to be. The tone was dark and the fireplace was in the middle of both of them and you could see the tension building. That was a cool little scene.
Cinematography is amazing.
Cinematography was cool. They did some nice tricks when things happened and impacted her greatly. They completely like focused on her face with slow motion and showed the enrage. It had a scene with the window zooming out with Kevin James looking out the window for her and they zoomed out into the woods. From that shot, that pan was great. So it had some positives, you know what I mean? The directors did their thing. Is this the writing in this? I fell short.
Yep.
This was a Redbox entertainment movie. Redbox being the the guys who would be at the Walmarts and stuff like that in the States.
Yep.
So they're getting into the movie, the actual movie creation field. How do you feel about that?
I think it's pretty good. Like, this movie, I felt like Kevin James saw Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, and he was like, I'm gonna take some serious shit too.
Hey, yeah, why not?
You know, unfortunately, this was again product, and I felt like he was trying, but the writing was holding everybody back.
Yeah, but this helped Kevin James's career, in my opinion, because it gives us more dimensions of his acting. So it even though this movie was a flop, in my opinion, it helped his career as a resume builder. And yeah, like you said, Adam Sandler, I think all those guys that are friends, they all had conversations and said, you know what, we would need to be more diverse. Like Chris Rock is doing the
Spiral series coming out soon.
Yeah, so they're all increasing their diversity and longevity in the careers. So it's smart, man. All of them are gonna come back together probably and make some projects that are more serious. And I'm there for that.
They're gonna hit us with Grown Up 3.
They could come back and do comedy. Imagine if they could pull this off and do the serious roles and then still kill it with comedy. They got the market, man. So I think that's a smart move, especially when they own the product, when they own what they're making. They choose the writers, they choose the directors. They're not just the actor. So this what we're seeing from this comedian team is going to be something very special. I'm happy to see that, but this movie was a dud in my opinion. It's cool to see a Canadian quarter though. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, what the hell? I was like, because I saw the moose or whatever on there.
I was like, oh, did I just see a Canadian quarter?
I was like, all right. So yeah, my final thoughts. I thought it was overly stylized. The first 30 minutes, I guess, were done well. I was invested, but once it came to like the gore and the fighting, it got too silly for me. Yeah, and I kind of checked out. Like towards the end, I just kind of checked out. Even the scene with the fire, where she's at the campfire, I was like, oh shit, she's about to have this elaborate plan. Yeah. And homegirl shows up with a super soaker. I was like, this is dumb, man. Yeah,
it looked cool, like I said, but in the real world, that would not have worked. The water, the gas would have went back to her too and popped right in her face. But hey, man, it's a movie, so.
So I was gonna give it a 5.
Yeah,
but
a 5.
Yeah, I'm in the middle with it because I feel like a 6 is too high.
6 is way too high. I feel like this is a good movie. Like if you just have it playing and you're doing some work on your laptop, doing something creative on your laptop or on your phone, scrolling through. It's a good background music, good background
noise.
Good background noise, yeah. Like just something playing because you don't have to be deeply invested in what's happening. There's no real foreshadowing or quick swift of hand type of movement tricks that happen where they could have done those things, but they didn't do it. Like especially, I don't know if you want to get into spoilers, but they didn't do things, but they had the opportunity, in my opinion. So they dropped the ball in a lot of places.
Yeah, it had potential. It started off pretty good, and then shit got really silly, man.
Yeah.
But there's people online that love this movie. Oh, it's good. But because there's people that just like gore. And this movie delivers on the blood and gore. Even if it's
rated R.
It's borderline B movie blood and gore, but it's there.
This blood and gore, in my opinion, it's like aftershock violence. Like you didn't see the act happening for like the first half of the movie. You just see her face doing something, or you hear something happen, and then you see the after effects of the violence. So it's not like, in my opinion, a rated R movie per se, but they probably just swore a lot, so that's what got it passed to the rated R to look cool. Because the Joker's doing good now.
The gratuitous violence of like the eye.
Maybe the end. Yeah, maybe the ending. The ending scene, maybe too. Yeah, maybe stuff like that
too. Yeah, the end scene too.
Yeah.
Which all this stuff looks like props out of the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like the spirit Halloween.
It looked comedic when the eyeball and stuff. That looked cartoonic and comedic to me, especially when he just takes it and chucks it in the sink. Like,
I was ready for Nicolas Cage to show up in this movie, honestly.
That would have been great. If Nicolas Cage was her dad, I think that would have been better when he was like wilding out on the walkie-talkie. You know what I mean? Like
I was ready for that level of cheese.
Yeah, this had that type of feel, like a Nicolas Cage movie.
It felt like a Nicolas Cage movie, and
had a lot of Pulp Fiction like homages in it also.
I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna bring
Pulp Fiction into that.
When she was looking for the weapon, she was like, "This one, nah. Shovel, nah. This one, nah. Oh, and then you see her grab something, and it's like, okay, that was from Pulp Fiction where he grabbed the bat. No, chainsaw, sword. You know what I mean? That was an homage there.
Tell you the right, he was on coke.
Yeah, man, he just watched Pulp Fiction. It's like, yo, shit, let me make this shit.
I'm gonna do that. I'm telling you, I'm do that.
I'm telling you, it was some sort of the triangle on the key, some sort of Aryan race type of thing that I'm not invested in. That there's a linear story in here that has to do with Aryan race, in my opinion. I think.
Yeah, because it's Nazis and she's blue-eyed, blonde hair.
Yeah, and she gets the MacGuffin and she's like ultra powered with rage. I don't know.
But what does that mean?
Viking shit. I don't know.
Let's deep dive real quick because we got some time. Yeah. So, is it like even the Aryan race is against the racism that the Nazis bring because she was the one to take down the Nazis?
Yeah,
she wasn't really even too fond of her. I will even say
shit.
It's not even her future mother-in-law. It's just dad's girlfriend.
Yeah,
or
she didn't care for them at all.
Yeah, she didn't care for them. She didn't even care for the kid or anything, really. She just did like weird signs to show them that she's there. I was like, okay, that's like, was she trying to save them? Because she didn't go back for them. You know what I mean? Like, Becky just seemed like she was one bad day away from being a school shooter.
Yeah, like she was just murdering people. She could have got them out when they were all these other guys were looking in the forest. Instead, she wanted to just murder everybody one by one. I was like, okay, you could have just the cars were working this whole time. Like,
how you want to murder people? You tripping and falling?
Yeah,
I've been watching a lot of Are You Afraid of the Dark lately, and this had some Are You Afraid of the Dark vibes too. There's some dumb kid.
Yeah, when I was watching this, I went and looked and saw what the directors did and what the writers wrote, and they did a lot of like, I think it was like Marvel cartoons and like teeny bopper type of stuff. So it's parallel to that type of stuff in my opinion. So.
It's a gory episode of Riverdale.
Yeah,
Riverdale got wild.
But they opened up a lot of questions. They didn't answer mostly any of them. So that's why I give it a big flop, man. Big dud.
So without going into like too much details, let's say the character survives. She kills all these people. Where do you go from there? Like, all right, we have this teenage girl that murdered all these people. What do we do with her?
Exactly. And like she's talking about some like, yeah, what do you do? Like, they raised all these questions and they didn't properly hit the landing at all, man. They just wanted to show gore just to show gore. So I'm saying there's a deeper, darker meaning in this movie that we didn't get because this is just a generic story and there's something deeper in there, like what I was talking about.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I may have missed this. Kevin James' character, the Nazi.
Yeah.
Did he know Joel McHale's character prior to that, or is it just a random event?
It's a random event, supposedly.
So he randomly went there and he randomly wanted to get a MacGuffin.
In the house, yeah.
In the house.
That is the answer to all of his...
There's no prior history of like maybe the dad used to be a Nazi back in the day and he changed his ways and now Kevin's out of jail and he's like, you're gonna pay what you owe.
They could have pulled off so many things. Could have been his brother-in-law and he's like, yo, we're done with all that. You know, and he's like, no, I need the thing. You know, it's like, what centers all these people together to make them have to meet in this one house was so random.
So a random Nazi.
Because you're telling me they pulled up to the house. You're telling me they went to do a vacation and randomly the Nazis come that same day. The same 10 minutes after they get to the house that they only go to once in a while. Come on, man. Like they didn't do enough to build that. So it's a dud, man. I was watching this.
This is like a 13-year-old fan fiction who's like, oh, I'm going to write Becky from school in here, and she's going to be a total badass.
Yeah.
This and that, and the teenager just wrote this shit.
And they made the Nazis just look like the Three Stooges. Like, they didn't, and like, you know, like Indiana... Like, I just watched Indiana Jones, so I saw, like, the deep storytelling of making Nazis look bad and evil and making them look like a joke in a great way. So then when I go watch this, and they did it, and they're trying to do that same thing, but they did it horribly. I was like, oh man, this is bad. Like, go watch Indiana Jones 3 with his dad, and when it shows the Nazis burning the books and all that, it's actually like terrifying looking. It's like, and then you look and you do your research and you're like, they really did this. Like, this is a real thing. Like, I watched the movie, like, that's kind of extra. Like, you don't even burn no books.
There's times where they're chasing the girl. Like, there's times where they're chasing the girl where, like, I felt like they could have played that Benny Hill music, like, yeah. She runs behind a tree and then looks, and then he looks behind that same tree, and then they go and she's behind this other tree, like, you know, and they go through doors. Yeah, it was just some like, Benny Hill shit. Man. I was like, you're telling me you can't see a girl running in a yellow and white T-shirt in a green forest? She's sticking out like a
like a sore thumb with this orange hat over her head. Like, you're telling me you couldn't spot her? Like, come on, man.
The fan fiction that you create in your head as you're watching the film is more enjoyable than the actual finished product.
Yeah, and the name Apex too. It's, I don't know, something's very, there's something else there. I'm not investing enough.
You're trying to deep dive in a movie written by a cokehead, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not investing any more time into this movie. But while I was watching, I was like, okay, the guy's name's Apex, the Aryan race, Nazis. There's something deeper here, but they just weren't smart enough.
He's the apex predator, and he's trying to be a predator on that young girl named Becky.
They talk about German shepherds. There's something else going on, but they didn't pull it off, in my opinion.
They should have had a Beyonce reference, like this Becky was actually the Becky with the good hair. And it all comes together.
This movie was foolishness.
Is that it? I think that's it for us. I think we covered everything on Becky.
Yeah, hell yeah. Avoid this movie, man. Unless you just need something to watch.
No, people are bored. People don't have shit to do.
It's a new movie, so
this or John
watch
Henry.
Kevin James. Watch Kevin James and see like the change in his character, and that's the one thing I can applaud. And the actor who the wife to be, she did a great job too.
Yeah, she's from.
He looked terrified. She looked terrified. Yeah, she's from that too. She's from Splice also, I believe. She did a couple of movies.
I was gonna say this is better than watching the John Henry movie though. I tried watching that shit.
John Henry, what is that?
Oh, don't do it. It's on Netflix. It's Terry Crews and Ludacris.
Oh no!
He has like the gold jaw and has like infinity stones on it.
Yeah, I seen I saw that little trailer for that thing. I
thought about reviewing it, but then I was like, man, I value my time though.
Yeah, it was good for Luda for getting in the next movie other than Fast and Furious, but keep working. Another hit will come, man. Another hit will come. Luda.
This ain't it, but eventually.
Yeah, this ain't it. It'll come.
All right, let people know where they can reach us and tell them about the Facebook group and all that.
Yeah, man. Our Facebook page is the Bacchanal fan page. It's right there on Facebook. Just search that, you'll find it. The Bacchanal _ is our Instagram, right?
Yeah.
We're doing it off the top right now. That's Instagram and Twitter. If you're looking for us on YouTube, just put in the Bacchanal Podcast in the search and you'll see us there. Jump in any comments you want. Say what you got to say. If we're messing up, tell us. If we're doing great, tell us.
We are trying.
Yeah.
And everybody be safe, man, and don't try to come out here during these curfews, man. Just stay home, use Grubhub, do what you got to do.
Yeah, just protect your energy at all costs.
Yes. All right, y'all, this is the Bacchanal Podcast. Peace.
Peace, everybody.